Hello, my name is Kirsty. I'm a clinical psychologist at Reigate and I'm going to be talking about step 1 of the 7 steps to support your child back to school. This step is think preparation. Children with developmental difficulties often find change difficult and will need time to adjust to going back to school. Preparation will be key in helping them to navigate their transition back to school and to help manage any anxiety about this. Some children may need lots of advanced preparation in the run-up to returning to school. However, this may cause more anxiety for other children, and they just need to be given information a couple of days before. Here are some tips and strategies that you could use to help prepare your child for their return to school. You know your child best, so take what you think will be most useful for your child and adapt it to suit them. Remember, every child is different, and you don't need to do everything. Your child may need some time to adjust to their new routine once they go back to school. In particular, children often end up with disrupted sleep patterns or sleep routines when they have extended breaks from school. It is helpful to try to keep your child in the same sleep routine during school holidays as much as possible, especially for children who have difficulties with sleep. This means going to bed and getting up at roughly the same times and keeping to your usual bedtime routine. Don't worry though if you haven't been able to do this. There is still time to help your child get back into good sleeping habits before they go back to school. The most important thing is having a quiet, relaxing, and consistent bedtime routine which helps your child's body know it is time for sleep. If your child is going to bed much later than usual and therefore waking up later, try gradually bringing bedtime earlier, for example, by around 15 minutes each night, and/or waking your child slightly earlier each day. Avoid letting your child nap during the day or reduce nap length gradually if they have started doing this as a way of catching up on sleep. Try to keep your child awake until bedtime by taking them out or doing an activity with them. This should help them be ready for bed at an earlier time. Communicate with your child about why you are encouraging them to start their sleep routine again, why sleep is important, and how this will help them when they go back to school. For example, it will be easier for you to get up, easier for you to learn, to concentrate, etc. For more information and help with your child's sleep, there are videos available from both the Children's Hospital Paediatric Sleep Service and the Sheffield Parenting Hub sleep practitioners. There is also a Reigate booklet on helping your child to sleep better. Please visit the links on our website to access these resources. Give your child as much notice as possible about any changes that will come with their return to school. This might include changes to their routine, wearing a uniform, when they can access their preferred activities or special interests, or anything else you can think of. Also, provide your child with information about what might be different when they go back to school. This can include if they will be going to a different classroom, different building, or having a new teacher. They may also have a new uniform or new shoes. It will also be important to prepare your child for any COVID-related changes at school, such as bubbles, staggered breaks and lunch times, different start and finish times, or any changes to drop-off and pick-up procedures or their school bus. It will also be important to highlight how your child will be supported and helped when they return to school. For example, will they have a teaching assistant to help them? Will they have a break card or safe place they can use? Can they have a fiddle toy or use ear defenders? Talk to your child's school's Special Educational Needs Coordinator or SENCO or their class teacher and make a plan for how your child will be supported when they return to school. You can then communicate this to your child. Also make it clear for your child what will stay the same when they go back to school. Knowing what will be familiar about a new experience is helpful for all of us when we are faced with something new or different to what we know. For your child, this can include things related to home life, such as who will pick them up or take them to school. What will happen when you pick them up? For example, we will still go to Nanan's after school, or you can still go on your tablet when we get home. You could also inform your child if they are still able to meet their friends. For example, you can still see your friends at the park. You can also include what will stay the same at school. You might need to talk to your child's school or teacher about this first. For example, school still starts at 9 a.m. and finishes at 3 p.m. They may still have the same teacher or classroom. They may still be with the same children in their class or a particular friend. They will still go to the same building, play on the same playground, or they can still go on the computer when they first arrive. Your child may even ask you directly if certain things will be the same when they go back. Talk to your child about what to expect when they go back to school and the kinds of activities they will be doing. This may be practical information about where they will be going when they first arrive, such as the building or classroom they will be going to. If your child is transitioning to secondary school, you could help prepare them for the new experience of having different teachers to teach them different subjects, and that they might have to move to different classrooms throughout the day. You could talk to them about some of the new subjects they might be doing, and if there might be something they are interested in, such as maths or computing. You could talk to school about what your child's first day or first week will look like, or if they have a gradual transition planned, and communicate this to your child. Try to get a taster visit if possible before your child starts back properly. This might include visiting the school when it is empty so that they can become familiar with it if it's a new school or classroom, or coming in on a quieter day or time. If possible, it might be helpful to arrange for your child to meet their teacher, teaching assistant, or any other key staff for them. If this is not possible, some schools have been able to produce either photos or videos of staff and classrooms that can show your child what it will be like when they go back. Check on your school's website or contact them directly to see if this might be possible. Try marking the first day back, or the first days if it is a gradual or staggered transition, on a calendar. This could be on the wall or on a phone calendar if your child has one. This will allow a visual countdown so your child can see how many days until they go back to school. You could just write this on a calendar, use a stick-on photo of their school on the date, or use an electronic calendar app that allows pictures and photos, such as the ChoiceWorks app, which is available for a fee from app stores. You could also include nice activities that will be happening after school or in between school days, so that your child has nice things to look forward to if they're feeling worried about school. Using visual resources and social stories can be helpful and accessible ways of communicating all of this information to your child. Step 3 of this webinar, which covers the importance of structure, has more information on the types of visual resources that you could use. Social stories are a way of sharing information with your child in a meaningful, safe, and accurate way. Social stories can be used to provide your child with information they do not already know, for example, about a new situation, unwritten social rules, or how to learn a new skill. The information itself can just provide reassurance, or you can also use a story to offer suggestions about what your child can do to help them in a given situation, or to let them know who else is there to help them. Social stories are also a way of making the information more visual, which we know is easier and quicker for children with developmental difficulties to process, and being written down, this also reduces the reliance on your child having to remember a verbal conversation. Although social stories were designed for children with autism, they can be used with children of all ages and abilities by adapting them to suit each child. In fact, social stories are most effective when they are personalised for your child. Writing a social story for your child can help them to understand what to expect when they return to school and how to help them cope with this. If your child requires some explanation of why things are different, you can include this in your social story. Just knowing why something is different can help reduce some anxiety. If your child is anxious about catching coronavirus at school, you can use a story to explain how the new measures in school are there to help protect everyone, and that cases are low enough now that it is safe for them to be at school. If it is not safe, schools will shut again. You can also include personalised suggestions of what will be different, but crucially, what will stay the same. Including pictures or photos will likely be hugely helpful for most children. For example, a picture of what their classroom will look like. You could see if your child's school can provide any photos of classrooms or teachers. Even older children are likely to find this useful, even if you don't include many other pictures in their story. Older children may also prefer the information to be presented more like a leaflet on returning to school rather than a story. We usually call this a social article. Please download our top tips on adapting a social story for more information on how to adapt a social story or social article for your child. This is available on our website. Also on our website, you will find some generic social stories about what to expect when returning to school, bubbles in school, and getting used to changes at school. As these experiences are likely to be different for each child and each school, it will be important that the stories are adapted for your child for them to be most effective. How you share the stories with your child is also very important. Please see our top tips leaflet on sharing a social story with your child, which is also available on our website. For more information on social stories, please visit the National Autistic Society website or carolgraysocialstories.com.